Hello, my one subscriber. 'Tis Jet or Josh. I don't care at this point. Playing again. Episode 11, I think. I have only just this morning put out episode 10, which means I'm way behind recording. I haven't been able to play in days. Partly because I've been dealing with work and the voluntary thingy thing I'm doing with email and work. And I played some Skyrim too. But other than that, I just didn't have time. I made a bunch of... Sunday I made a bunch of my signature green pizza, which is now also available for stealing on one of my other videos that was recently published. I don't have enough recipes to really make a series, but I might do a couple of videos. Also, one of the delays, bear with me as I have the complete inability to do more than one thing at a time. How's my little island doing? Vines growing everywhere. And look, somebody left me a cactus. But yes, one of the things I've been trying to do is figure out what the heck I'm doing with this stupid castle, citadel, island, tower, palace. And I still don't quite know, but I have drafted a plan. One of the tricks to this place is that, it's huge. Each one of these levels constitutes, a floor down that must be larger than the one above it. Well, I suppose it doesn't have to be. But just because it is, my effort to draw a design gets doubly difficult with each new layer. Let's see. Did I misjudge this? No. Okay. So I haven't gotten this far. I have gotten as far as this level right here. So, for this episode, I'm going to start laying the darn thing out. And it's going to be boring as hell. What can I talk about? I still don't have... Let's see, how many... Two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. So that's 1, 2. This is going to look horrible until it's done. I'm sorry to say. 3, 4. Superior. Because, I needed to be able to waste time like this. I might even just record this in bits and pieces now that I have the capacity to edit. You may have noticed the last few episodes have an intro sequence. This is not accidental. Oh, for crap's sake. Right. Back at it again. Let's try not to fall off this time. But yeah, I'll do the largest one among those I've designed first. So I need to go up by 8. I have accomplished 4. I realize if I do this with the shift button, that helps a lot. 5. It's also kind of hot in here. We're experiencing a heat wave. Which is, nice since last week. It actually went down to about 25 degrees. Now it's 85 today. Gonna be 90 tomorrow. For early April, that might be excessive. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, very good. Boink. So, yep, some trees are going to have to come down, I'm afraid. Sorry, I'm really bad at talking and concentrating at the same time. It would help to have questions to answer, but nobody knows I exist yet, and it's going to be probably quite a long time before anybody does. If that ever happens. Luckily, it's no skin off my nose as yet. Just because... Oh, for crying out loud. Just because... you know, I'm having fun in the meantime. That's sort of the biggest deal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got to dibble this. 2. Whoops. This is 3, 4, 5. Man, I hope this works out. Let's see. Is this right? Yes, this is right. Oh, you know, this might not be right in the grand scheme of things. Ow. Can I get up there from here? Yes, I bet I can. Sweet. Guess who's gonna be putting the video back on pause again? Ooh, you know what? I can come this way. Okay. This helps. This helps. Okay. I probably have woefully inadequate amounts of supplies for this project. Let's see. I'm going to need 5 going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then blink. Okay. How far does that go? 4? Is that right? 1, 2? Man, I hope I haven't already messed this up. Oh, you know what I should have is wood. But wood. The one thing because the floors are only 1 layer thick, what happens on the floor above is going to seep down into the floor below, and you're going to have inconsistent. I'm going to have to do something where the ceiling is half a slab lower, I think, probably to make all this work. Sorry, tree. Your descendants will be fine. Should have an axe. So yeah, recent episodes. I finally got around to installing this old copy of Premiere CS4 that I own. The first time I actually used, because I couldn't appreciate the difference, I used After Effects instead. And it took 36, almost 40 hours to pump out a stupid video. I actually was allowed to stay home from work because I had started this and I was already 20-something hours in. And I was like, and you know, I didn't get any sleep because of muscle aches. So I was like, okay, can I sleep in and then work from home? And they were more than generous about it. So that was very nice. Ow. Crepity crep crep. Oh yeah. Yep, sorry, I'm still plugging away at these trees. They will promptly be in the way, so I might as well get this out of the way. And Oplek, who has joined the server, he's my brother, has fallen in lava. Which I hate. I hate falling in lava so much. Which is the worst thing the universe has ever done to me. That's probably a terrible thing to say. Okay. So yeah. Premiere. Much better than After Effects when you're actually assembling your video. Takes a few hours to pump out the final result, but not days. So that's better. And it works pretty well. I'll draft up my several layers of content in Photoshop first. Use those as the intro sequence. Move the bits and pieces around under keyframes. And you've got an intro sequence. I went around looking for music that I was legally allowed to use and found some. There was some confusion at first. I found this place called royalty-free music, and they basically, you buy the music for a one-time thing, and you get certain rights for use. They're somewhat limited, and typically it does not involve partial. What's going on up there? Partial views or partial presentation, but because in my case the video is pretty much complete. Bear with me. I'm gonna just deal with this. Not the video. The audio is pretty much complete, even if it's broken up. I asked about this pretty specifically, and they said, "Oh, that's fine." So I have pretty much perpetual use, perpetual permission to use the music that I have, which is really good. It fits. It's not perfect, but it fits pretty well. So I like it. It wasn't not really hard at all to make this thing. It has been since college since I did any actual video editing. At the time, though, I was producing, there was no Minecraft, but I was making 3D animated stuff. Nothing compared to what's going on today, but not bad, I don't think. But every single frame of which you would want 24 to 30 for a second's worth of content could take several minutes to several hours, depending on what was going on as far as ray tracing, how complicated the lighting and the fog and everything involved was. So literally 30-second clip could take a couple of weeks to produce. It's still a hard thing to do, which is probably why, in general, if you have a really nice looking game, it's also very contained, very limited. Or if you have a game like this, it's very open. There are visual restrictions involved. And computers will be getting better at this all the time, but still. This is the reality of things at this time. So let me recap. I have to follow these shapes carefully. Actually, I'm not required to oak. Bear with me. My brain can only accomplish a few things at once. Let me just put this down now. This will eventually be a room, in case you can't tell. I apologize for the somewhat unnatural, I guess you could say, order in which this is being done. It's, who builds a building from the top down? But hey, this is Minecraft. Shut up. Alright. I believe I leave a crease here, so I'll put that there. And the process repeats. Sorry, I don't have much to talk about. There's a Whole Foods. I know they're somewhat controversial lately, but with workers and healthcare and it's one of these topics. It's like, who do you believe when they're talking about it? Because it's strange with Whole Foods the way they're going to such extent. What's the good word? It's going to such extent to produce good food, things that are really good for you, and would dramatically, if you actually eat this stuff as opposed to fast food, reduce your healthcare costs. And then they don't want to cover the healthcare costs of their own employees. It seems like it doesn't add up to me, so I'm not sure if I should believe this exactly. But that being said, they do have the food I need. I am in a situation still as a physical human being, singularity has not occurred as yet, where I have to eat to survive, and I would just as soon eat good food as opposed to partially hydrogenated oils and high fructose corn poison, stuff like that. Is that right? Yep, that's right so far. So yeah, there's one not so far. As a crow flies, not so far from where I am, but because there are no bridges across the stream, I have to walk a big C-shaped area to get home from this place. It takes a good 45-minute walk. And I did that earlier this week. Did I? Maybe it was Saturday. Wow. I apologize for my insanity. So anyways. Actually, there's something wrong with this. Oh, no. Sorry. This one is a bit thinner. The shape of the rooms are largely obeying the constraints of I can't. I'm sorry. My English. Sorry. I am so entertaining in this fashion, am I not? So yeah, I walked home, and walking over the stream is kind of nice, especially when the tide is even, because this, where it is, it's still somewhat tidal. So the water stops for a while and it becomes calm. And there were fish, quite a lot of them. At first you'd see these little tiny ones in the absolute shallows, but as you walk out to where it gets deeper, or over where it gets deeper, the bridge being the bridge, the fish got bigger, significantly bigger. In fact, I saw what I looked up later and believed to be, yes, I know this is a little confusing at the moment, but this is real. This is actually the way it's supposed to be. What I believe was a smallmouth bass. It was huge compared to the other fish, that's for sure. And it had intricate patterning. I am way off. Crap. I'm sorry. It had an intricate patterning, almost like blobby hexagons. They were darker patches surrounded or delineated by lighter lines. And the pictures I saw of smallmouth bass were not quite that precise, but it was the closest thing I could find that comes to it. And this thing was probably a foot to foot and a half long, I'd guess. So it dwarfed the other fish. I'm not sure what they were. They were pretty plain looking, just sort of whitish silver with black tails. So maybe somebody has some idea what that might be. But sadly though, oops, that's wrong. Sadly, sorry, I'm being so inefficient about this. This is not something I usually have to worry about when I'm just playing for my own edification. But being a metropolitan area, I mean, it's nice to be able to see foxes and fish and deer and stuff when you're off doing stuff, wandering around, but sorry, I'm thinking it extends out one more here, because basically this walkway is going to start curving off that way, just so you have some idea of what it is I'm trying to accomplish. And in fact, there's a mini dog outside barking its head off. The streams, the run, I guess you call it here in Virginia. This is just a solid line. There's no door here. The next stage up is where that door is going to be. So that means it's just 3 from there. It goes out by 1. And then you got a couple of... I might not necessarily have wood in the door frames in the future, but for now it's useful as a marker. But the garbage along... sorry, I'm veering from one topic to another. Oh, did I actually get 3 saplings out of that one tree? That's so unusual. I've already run out of wood. Here, let me go and get some more. Okay, so yeah, as I was whinging, as my Welsh fiance likes to say, about the garbage, I think. It's everywhere, and it's it's such a mucky place that you couldn't, even if you wanted to go out and get, rescue or clean up that garbage, it's just, you couldn't reach it, I don't believe. Or if you went out on a kayak or canoe, you couldn't reach it from where you'd be restricted to just because of how shallow things are. So this is... No, that's right, because... Because that's a door frame. Sorry, tree. I went and did it again. Ooh, I was kind of hoping to... I hate dropping things, because sometimes they despawn on me pretty much at random. I've had stone or other things that aren't stone last for ages, and then I've had stone and other things that are not stone. I don't know why this almost suddenly disappear, and that I have found maddening. But yeah, the garbage around pretty much everywhere is highly disturbing, but in particular when it's in the river. First off, I don't understand how people can do that. I mean, how loose can you be with your garbage that it ends up in a river? So, I got this thing from PyCon called a Raspberry Pi, and it's a microcomputer of sorts. It's basically just a chip, or not a chip, a circuit board with a chip and a few connectors and things like that. And people have been using these for all kinds of things, all kinds of creative things. And while I'm not sure if the Raspberry Pi is an appropriate device for this idea, there are microcomputers running what are called, I guess, quadrocopters or quadcopters. These little sort of drone-ish things that have 4 rotors, and so they have very good balance. And there have been demonstrations where some that have been given particularly good calculating ability were able to do things like balance objects or even like dishes on top of sticks, and they throw them into the air and catch them again and do flips and all that neat stuff. And I was thinking, well, okay, if this is within the realm of a hobbyist, or if this is within the scope of hobbyists, which these were, then, and I have a Raspberry Pi, I guess I would need rotors or maybe a quadcopter base, then it's within my capacity to do something with it too. And I was thinking, okay, is there a way that they could detect and recognize garbage? I mean, you're talking plastic, bits of metal, glass, paper, maybe cloth. And I realized to us as human beings, this seems like a trivial matter, recognizing one from another. But we have a combination of senses. We can see from a distance that it's probably one thing, and then if we're not absolutely sure, we can then feel it. A device could probably, nowadays you throw up a picture onto Facebook and it figures out where the face is most of the time. Sometimes it does it incorrectly, but it's still something it can do. So let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at a screen at the same time. So this is correct up until here. Boink, boink. See, this is almost looking smaller to me now than it will be. On my other screen, I have the Photoshop sketch I did drawn up to such a size as individual pixels look like blocks. And so I'm kind of glancing back and forth, and I apologize for that, but at this point it feels kind of necessary. See that? Is that really such an... I may have bottled myself in here. But anyways, the challenge, I guess, the biggest challenge would be, how do you get this device to recognize garbage? It's something that it should... well, the goal is, how about it carry off the garbage and deposit it in a waiting bin? It can know where the bin is based purely on GPS or WLAN, WideLAN. sorry, I don't know my terms very well. You know, detection, stuff like that. And like, oh, there. It could even have an RFID or some sort of transmitter at the bin that it will just go to. And therefore they could fly out. Maybe a little army of them could fly out and start picking up garbage. And while I don't want to give humanity a further excuse to be lazy and keep making this mess, it's an interesting project idea anyways. And if I could do a little bit of good, or, you know, hell, if people can see what it looks like to have a clean environment, even in a small area, maybe they'll realize they want it around them where they live and start making maneuvers in that direction. But no, there's lots of major challenges to solve in a project like that. I was almost thinking, almost doesn't apply, that a solution might be if they could taste. I realize that sounds strange, but if they could taste the material, some sort of, is that really? See, this is a narrow gap. I don't think it was, well, actually it doesn't have to be that narrow because this can, yes, I love it when it catches it. Okay, there, not so narrow now. And I think though, this one is 2, the next one is 3. Frig. Can I get back up? No, of course not. Oh well. If there were like a needle, some sort of protruding device. The next one is 4. Let me do that right now. Give myself an anchor, something I can stick to. And then there's 3 of these. And if it was maybe perhaps superheated at the end, you wouldn't want to probe animals with that, which it might not know not to do. So there's so many challenges to solve, but if it recognized perhaps with a device that shot out a beam of ultraviolet, kind of like some remotes do. Now, certain objects would probably reflect that back in a certain way, so they recognize, oh, that's probably glass, that's probably plastic. You can narrow down the list of objects to study. I suppose that would mean it would go after ducks. Or mallard ducks, or pigeons with the iridescent wings patches. Those are actually biologically designed to reflect ultraviolet light in such a way as if they take off en masse and a large flock of them burst into flight because of a predator bird, it would be kind of like being in a rave thing with one of those balls, or the reflective crystal ball things that sends light off in every direction except in ultraviolet, which birds of prey can see. And so it'd be very confusing, and therefore each individual duck or pigeon has an increased chance of surviving the encounter. So if I was looking for ultraviolet signatures, then I'd probably end up probing ducks, and that wouldn't be wonderful. But I don't know. If we can do it, a machine can eventually learn how to do it. So I'm thinking it would be nice to have a little army of these guys flying out and picking up garbage. I guess that's the thrust of it right there. Let's see, it's 3, 2, and then a whole bunch of 1s. Wow. Okay. I'm going to work on this for a little while, and I'll get back to you guys. Right. I'm back, and as you can tell, I've been busy. It does take quite a while to save out the files, maybe a good hour for every half an hour of content that I've recorded. And since a lot of that will have to be edited out because I'm walking up spiral staircase and whatnot, I need to record some more. So, as you can see, I delineated more of the planned down rooms. They're all the same texture. They all have front doors. So a lot of them have double front doors, as you'll eventually detect. And you notice I did something back here. In the plan. Oh, also, God, what is with this? Anyways, I'm running low on trees. You think, as prolific as oak is, it would be a lot easier to come by oak. But if anything, I have more jungle wood than anything. But you can see I started clearing out over here as well. And I started to do the delineations on this side. And one of my tall trees is gone. And it produced 16 saplings. It was ridiculous. I've never had that many saplings come off of one jungle tree before. So yeah, part of the plan is a storage room and here we go. I haven't moved any chests. I've just built some new ones from wood that I'm not using. You can see here it matches the level. I'm not sure what I'll do up there just yet. Might be more storage rooms or other things. But for now, just simple storage, unmarked. But here's spruce stuff, jungle stuff, oak. You can see, considering how much I'm using, I need more saplings. I should probably plant 1 billion of them at this point. And birch. These aren't in use yet, but will be. Unprocessed stone, well, processed stone, we'll just say that much. And my stash of actual stone. So that'll last me for a while, since right now it's mostly doing outlines. Stray stuff that I'm picking up during my constructions. As you notice, there was a hill over here, and now it's gone. It wasn't very tall. It's like, from this perspective, it was like, boink. But I cleared that out. How much further do I have to go? This room will be mirrored again on this side of this room. Minus a little bit here, that coincides with what cannot be built into the tower. And then one more room on the other side, and then a hallway, and then a handful of rooms way over there. So there's still quite a lot left to do, and I don't have enough wood. Here, let me set up some more trees. Hopefully those aren't so close together that they won't grow. If I get desperate, I do have some bone meal, but with monsters turned off, I have to be sparing with my use of bone meal. I have completely forgotten what it was I was talking about before I left, and I'm not sure if anybody will ever find that stuff interesting anyways. But, oh well. It'll be a while, so I'm going to just do this. Poor trees. It was more, yes, okay. I'll make sure they're not at the edge, because if I don't want to have to go rummaging around for saplings on the ground. I'm going to have... Did you see that? Okay. I'm just trying to sprint, and instead I do this lurchy business. It's driving me nuts. All right. Good enough. I need that. And that was done here. Ka-ching. I'll build more as I go, but I already have enough storage up here. So hey, let's make the next room. Oh, let's see. This. Oops, crap. Sorry. I need some outliner. As you can see, brick or stone brick, and then slabs for the pathway that goes around. Now the theory here is based on my very limited understanding. Yeah, I'll pull some out as well, of how testificates work. And while there is no village nearby that I am aware of, one way or another, I'm going to get some stupid testificates out here someday. Because that is sort of the point of this whole place. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. It will just follow the curve for a while, yeah. Oh, but yeah, from what I understand, it may be wrong, is that doors cannot be facing each other. So I can't just have hallways lined with doors and expect that to work. And what am I looking at? Oh, I marked that some time ago. So in theory then, if that is true, and it should still work even if it's not true in this case, the doors of these houses will face outward so that they cannot face each other. And the hope there is that therefore most or all the doors will qualify for determining the population of this quote-unquote village. Frig. Luckily, I don't have to go quite so far as I used to. I do still have to find my way up this... Ooh. Huh. Alright, give me a moment here, people. Whew, okay, I'm back. I decided to collect a few things on my way up, just so I won't have to do it later. Here we go. Including a couple more chests. I noticed I cannot put these up against the ceiling. But oh well. One of these was tools, right? Okay, so let's put all these tools somewhere secure. What else counts? I don't think the rest of those count as tools. Rock. That should go downstairs at some point. And instead I'll put clothy type stuff. Or hell, the animal type stuff here. And continue forward. Okay, so shoot, where was I? No trees yet. I hope they don't block each other. So yeah, if I hadn't completed the thought earlier, the idea is that the doors will face outward so that they'll all count. All I have to worry about now is where the hell am I going to get testificates, or, you know, villagers. It is within my power to cheat, but I refuse just because no one else here has the power to cheat. That's not fair, is it? So running the server can't have too many privileges. Okay, so the corner needs to be knocked off. This is an error. Ooh, and I left my tool behind. Naturally. Well, this next one is smaller. It is technically 2 rooms. Dun, 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 dun. Oop, there's my old boat. See, I can do this. Shift. Oh, that's a difficult combination for me to press. So let's see, that's 4. So we got 2 so far. Ooh. Very good. Let's see. So, talk. Something to talk about. Jeez, I just don't know. I need tools, right? Let's use this. Oop. And while I'm at it, sure, let's use that thing up. I don't care. Hello, tree. You are most needed. And you know what? Oak isn't really even my favorite color. I'm not terribly thrilled with I prefer birch and spruce technically. However, I'll survive somehow. I can slowly replace these over time later. I just seem to have already committed to this particular course of action, so I will finish with it. Okay, so excuse me. Right, so 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright. And then it expands. I mean, for the most part, these rooms are predictable because they follow the curves. Man, I've already run out again. Between this and the next recording, I'm going to have to go on a massive wood hunt. Come on, come on, come on. Grow. Grow more. Is there something I can do without the wood? There's a bit more to do on this side. I suppose I could put down flooring or pathways. I mean, this is already, as it is, helped a fair bit in helping me measure the project, so I can continue. I can put down some floors. That'll help me get around a little bit better too. So let's see, 6 total. I got 4. So I'm also gonna have to go on a hunt for testificates. I have them not with me. Shoot. I have a bit of a map, but it's not very large. I need to make a full-size one, which is always a pain. Oh, never mind. What am I doing? I have them on me. Right, so these guys don't need to be this prolific. Shh, of course, the first one is botched. Why not? You know? Oh. Let's see. I suspect there aren't any out here. It's one hazard of large biomes is if you're in a large jungle or a large swamp or a large extreme hills like I am now, technically, it can be quite far from anything else. But they just feel more realistic, and I do need a certain level of realism to be able to stick with it. I guess I enjoy it. How the heck did that happen? Of course I lose it. That's just so fun. Okay. So that looks alright. This technically, this floor, this is the third one down, so here's another and here's another, is so far among my drawings the most complicated, so if I succeed in putting this one down, then I'll have a better time of it going up. Plus, doing the ones above this will be a lot easier because I don't have to hang off the edge. I can do it from below. What's going on here? Hello? What's this? See, now, is that right? That appears to be right. See, it's a bit of a squeeze, because it's going to be on both sides like this. I suppose that's not so bad. That's one thing I have to decide about is, I don't... See, these, a testificate can jump on top of. But rails either leave gaps that they can move between, or they'll jut out in an unattractive way. So I'm still a bit torn about that. This goes straight for quite a long ways. Nice music. That sheep has been there forever. Forever. Okay, so I've reached the edge of this, except this is wrong right here. This is wrong. Thank you. The other one's probably despawned by now. So this goes frig. Dunk, dunk. So that's 4, which means this is roughly where the door is going to be. right here. Which means this goes out. Not the super easiest thing ever. It's getting dark under there. If I had monsters on. So this actually... At this point, the curve is starting to come back in. The... Pointing straight out from this guy, it's gonna jut out a ways, and there's gonna be one building that protrudes upwards at this level. So it's not a tower exactly, but it comes back up a little bit. I'm not sure what will happen below. In fact, you notice I'm at this level, I'm still quite high, so to build this wall all the way down, all the way around, will be quite an investment in time. But what I might do is have it curve in under itself, sort of like a ship, or like an aircraft carrier, except grounded upon an island, maybe. So that invaders who don't exist that climb in from below would have a hell of a time of it, I suppose. It's a theory. It might work. See, so from here, it juts out by 3. Whew, that was close. And then 3 again. All right. This here creates a bit of an open plaza for quite a while. So probably one thing I might... Oh, are you kidding me? How is this happening? It's got to be a lag thing. Holy cow. Stop. Especially since now I have to go get all those. And I can't see a thing. I have 10, so I think I got them. I'm not sure, but didn't the other one fall? Oh, there it is. Sweet. Hey, you know, this is turning out to be something. Ooh. Okay. I'm probably going to have to call this an episode sometime soon. Can I get up there from here? That's all going to be filled in, though. To what extent, I don't know. See, I mean, right now it just looks completely unrealistic, but when this is complete, it will be pretty interesting, I hope. I mean, this is probably the sort of project I probably should have done at core, so that A, other people could help me, but also maybe so everybody could live there. I suppose one could make the argument everybody could then live here if they wanted. That would make it a lively place. It just wouldn't be at the core of the universe. Then again, by way of Nether, it's not that far. Ooh, let me deal with this. I have useful supplies now. Okay, it's getting dark again already. So, what I might have to do is put the ceilings on any floor below, put a slab on the ceilings to cover up these deviations, you know, these delineations, so they don't interrupt a room in an unattractive way. And I know I mentioned this already, but I'm not sure if I completed the thought. The way things go for me, it's a pretty good bet I didn't complete the thought. Right, there we go. So I wonder if after I cut out everything, I'll have enough for a half-an-hour long video at this point. This is going to require more editing than usual. Uh-oh. It's that sheep again. It's been casing the joint. Blah. Something's got to be done about the ocean-dwelling sheep. It's been out there for years. Is this what they call evolution? He will become a sheep whale, perhaps? That would be most interesting, though perhaps counterproductive. Oh, look at this. This is a cop-out. Cheap 4 whole pieces of wood from that one. That's great. That'll go real far. But, you know, I did get, like, 4 of these in one day, so this might work out, actually. Okay, so, I will call it an episode. I've made real progress in this. I've got to repeat this pattern on the other side, and subjecting everyone to watching that would be cruel. So how about my next episode, I visit when this floor is done, and then I can start divvying up the next floor above, which will be a lot easier, and I won't fall quite so much because I'll have this as a platform. Ooh. My farm, such as it is. So much of that's going to have to be cleaned up. So yeah, this is going to take over the island in many ways. But I'm going to have so much dirt that I really ought to build the island, flesh it out into the ocean or build it up into like cragged peaks. It's always... It never looks quite right when you do it by hand, but I suppose that's what one needs practice for, huh? Yeah, so, okay. I demand that everybody have a good night. I will try to do the same. Thank you for watching.